Hey everyone, today is day 28. I am almost to my 30-day commitment, which if you've listened to my last couple videos, I've decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and take the full 90-day challenge. Today I am questioning that decision because today I don't want to show up. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be in public. I don't want to interact with people. I think I just want to stay in bed and cry. And that's the thing that I'm going to talk about, is talk about honoring your feelings and what are feelings and how we judge our feelings all the time. And the thing is that feelings are just these emotions that we have that are just needing to come up and be felt and be released. And they're like clouds, right? They just like come, we observe them, and then they pass. And sometimes they're really full and charged, and in order for them to pass, they have to rain. And that is, I equate with crying. I mean, sometimes the clouds are light and airy and they just pass on by, and other times they're really heavy and they're dense and they require release in order to dissipate. And that's where I'm at today. So the thing about feelings is people often think that if I feel a certain way, I'm attaching to a feeling or I'm taking a feeling on. And the way that I see it is when you have feelings that come up in you, there's something that you already have that just wants to be released and let go. It's already there. It's tapped into something that's already stored inside of you, especially if there's a lot of charge around it. So the more emotional charge that you have around it, that's the big giant cloud that needs rain in order for the release to happen so that it can pass, which I'm talking about tears. And feelings are just emotions that need to be felt and released. They do not want to be explained. Feelings don't want to be justified. Feelings don't want to be understood. They just want to be felt. That's it. It's that simple. Yet we're terrified to do it. So many of us are terrified to actually feel the feelings that are coming up. So we cover them up. How do we cover them up? So many different ways. Drinking alcohol, calling a friend, getting high, working out, eating food, watching a movie, going on Facebook, scrolling, searching. I don't want to feel what I'm feeling. Please let me find a distraction. And you can do that, and it will definitely stop the feeling. At least it'll suppress it for a little bit, but the feeling's still going to be there. It still needs to be expressed. It still needs to be released. You can only stuff it and restuff it and stuff it again for so long before eventually it will show up in your body as an illness or an injury, because there's a really great book. It's called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And that's absolutely true. And so the importance of feeling your feelings, of expressing them, calling a friend and saying, hey, do you have time to talk because I'm really feeling this way? And hopefully it's a friend that can hold space for you and not a friend that instantly wants to jump in and fix it. That's a really important piece. If you have a friend that you say, hey, I'm feeling this way, and they instantly want to jump in and make you feel better. Oh, well, just look at the bright side. Or, oh, this other thing is happening that's really good. Focus on this good thing that's happening. Oh, don't feel bad. Or you think that's bad? Well, let me tell you about what I'm going through, right? So there's like a couple of different ways that you can get a response about, what you're feeling. And all it does is suppresses the feelings that are going to still need to come up and be felt again later. It's like you can deal with it now or deal with it later, but I guarantee if you deal with it later, it's not going to be just that feeling that you're releasing. It's going to be that feeling attached on to a whole bunch of other feelings, a whole bunch of other things that are attached to it. Now it's even bigger than if you just felt whatever it was at the moment and you didn't judge it, you didn't grade it, you didn't justify it, you just felt it. What if you did that? What if you just had a feeling and you felt it? I guarantee it would pass a whole lot faster. I have a whole emotional release technique that I use that's adapted from Cornelia Stephanie's work. You can actually go to her website, corneliastephanie.com, and do emotional release technique. I think it's Emotions 101. It's a totally free download that you can do. Also, I'm in the process of putting together my own, because I have my own spin on it that I've learned working with her of what works for me, that I teach my clients, you know, about what do you do with these feelings that come up? And then there's the part where, what do you do when all of these feelings come up and you have to go to work, or you have to go to the PTA that day, or you have an important business meeting, or whatever, and you're like, I don't have time to feel all of this stuff coming up. What do I do? And that was my experience today. I did my meditation, and after my meditation, just all of this stuff came up, and it was really sort of my teenage girl, right? So it's an aspect that I was able to recognize, like, who is this? Where are all these feelings coming from? I just felt so great. I was in this really high place, sit in meditation, and there's this part of me that wants to come out and be expressed, and it's sort of that teenage girl, that part of me that, you know, a situation happened, and that was sort of like triggered, and I was like upset, and I'm trying to go, logically, I should not be upset about this. There's no logic to feelings. Feelings are just feelings. And I was able to see that, oh, this is a part of me that needs to be released. This is a part of me that's requiring more healing. This is a part of me that just wants to have a voice for a minute. But I've got a schedule. I've got things to do. I have clients to see. I've got so much on my to-do list today. I don't have time for that. And I sat in the feelings. I had the release. I journaled. I cried. Journaled some more. Called my client and said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to be late because I'm having an emotional release, and it's not taking a rain check. Sometimes it can take a rain check. A lot of times I make it take a rain check. But I'm in a place right now where I don't have to take a rain check all the time. I'm not in a place where I'm raising kids anymore, where my schedule is so packed that I don't have time, but that I was able to give myself the time. So it's okay if you know, sometimes you can't call and say, hey, I'm gonna be late. Fortunately, I knew that I could do that today. But if I couldn't, if you can't, if you're in a place where some feelings are coming up and you're like, I don't have time to feel these things, and you can't just call in and take a sick day because it's an emotional health day, just make a commitment to yourself that you're not going to ignore it and that you will come back to it later. And, you know, that's really important, to just make that commitment to yourself that says, you know, I just don't have time to feel this right now because I've got this schedule. But just say to yourself, but I'm going to get back to you later. I'm going to come back and I'm going to look at this and I'm going to feel this later. And you make a commitment to not try to numb it. Don't pour yourself a glass of wine and say, oh, it'll be fine. Don't instantly spiritualize it away. Don't call the friend who's just going to try and tell you a story that's worse, or tell you all the great things that are going on in your life. Just sit with the feeling. Just cry. Release it. Let it go. Because when you do that, what's left is this absolute, beautiful, blissful peace. Because now you have created space inside of you that you're no longer holding these emotions down, which are preventing you from seeing the brighter side. Because you can jump to and you can see the brighter side, but it's just a Band-Aid. But if you release the feelings, then the brighter side is going to come up to you, come up from inside of you, and it's a cure. It's not just a Band-Aid. So here's my 2 cents. I canceled all my plans. I didn't go down to Downtown Sounds and meet my friends. Instead, I came home early so that I can just rest and maybe do a little more crying and release just some old stored emotions so that tomorrow I can wake up and see where I'm at then. Let the clouds be where they are. Maybe it's a storm. Maybe they're going to pass in an hour. Maybe they'll stay around for a couple days. I'm open to the process and feeling all the feels. So that's part of connecting to your heart. And I encourage you to connect to your heart. Ciao.